Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from Germany that I want to share with you. We've got reports today that Germany is committed to building a large military base in Lithuania, and this is going to be to deter Russian forces from any kind of an attack and to beef up the Eastern Front if a war is ever to break out between Russia and NATO. So this is absolutely huge, okay? This new base that they're building is going to be a massive base in Lithuania, very close to Vilnius. It's going to be in the town of Rudninkai. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I could be butchering that. My apologies. But I believe it's called Rudninkai. And it's a very small town, approximately 20 kilometers or 12 miles away from Vilnius. I'll show you in a map here in just a moment. So they want this base to be built by 2027, and it's going to be costing somewhere around 1.1 billion dollars or a billion euros. Okay, so it's a very, very expensive base that's going to be built, and this is all at the same time where Germany's coming out and saying, we got to make massive budget cuts. We can't be spending too much on military and things like that. Yet they're building this major military base over here in Lithuania. So obviously, this is to deter Russia for one, and also two, this is going to beef up the defenses on the eastern side of Europe should a war break out. Okay, so that's obviously a major part of this. So also, this is the first time that Germany has had any kind of permanent foreign deployment since World War II. Okay, so German troops are going to be on Lithuania's land, which is also a NATO nation along with Germany, and it's going to be very close to Russia. Okay, basically on Russia's doorstep, more along the lines of Belarus, but very close to Russia nonetheless. Okay, so this is very, very big news. So let me go ahead and jump on over here to a map so I can show you guys exactly where this base is going to be located at. So we're going to zoom in over here to Lithuania. These are all the Baltic nations: Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Okay, Lithuania borders Belarus, not so much Russia. Okay, Latvia and Estonia, they border Russia, but Lithuania borders Belarus. Okay, so if we zoom in here, here's Vilnius, and there's a small town just to the south of Vilnius here called Rudninkai. Okay, so right in this area, somewhere near here, is where this base is going to be built. Who knows, maybe over here in this open field or something. I've seen a few pictures online that show that it's being built in a very open area near some trees. So probably somewhere close to this town it will be built. And look at how close Germany will be to Russia compared to, their troops being stationed way over here. They're going to have a permanent deployment base over here that will house somewhere around 4,000 troops, okay? An entire brigade of German troops will be stationed here at this base, much closer to Russia. Okay, so we also hear recently that Germany was going to be potentially receiving long-range weapons that they could use to strike against Russia. That this would happen sometime in the next year or so. Okay, and then also didn't the United Kingdom supposedly just get fast-tracked some nuclear weapons as well, some tactical nukes to upgrade their arsenal? So I mean, regardless of what you want to say, many of these European nations, NATO in general, is definitely preparing for a major conflict with Russia. And we obviously don't know what the outcome of this war between Ukraine and Russia is going to be yet. Anything can really happen. But I want to switch gears, come back to this base, and talk some more about this. So I've got this article pulled up here on Reuters. It says Lithuania begins construction of base for German troops near Russian border. And this just came out today, August 20th, 2024. Here's a picture. It says a bulldozer operates at the construction site of the artillery training area of a German army base in Rudninkai, Lithuania on August 19, 2024. So it's definitely going to be built here in some sort of open field. We can see all these trees in the background, and they're starting to build this thing right now. So it says this under the summary: Lithuania begins construction of new military base. Base will house up to 4,000 German troops. Construction costs estimated to top 1.1 billion. So it says Lithuania on Monday began construction of a military base which will accommodate up to 4,000 combat-ready German troops, excuse me, once completed by the end of 2027, in the first permanent foreign deployment for the German military since World War II. Germany committed to deploy troops in the NATO and European Union member which borders Russia last year. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius compared the decision to the posting of Allied forces in West Germany during the Cold War to defend Western Europe in case of a Soviet attack. Lithuanian Chief of Defense Raimundas Vaiksnoras estimated the country would spend more than 1 billion euros or $1.1 billion over the next 3 years to develop the base in one of the largest construction projects in history. It's a huge investment for a nation of 2.9 million with an economy a tenth the size of Germany's, Vaiksnoras said on the sidelines of a launch ceremony. The brigade will work as reassurance to our population and as deterrence to push the Russians out, he added. It says here housing tanks and storage. The base in Rudnkai, close to the capital Vilnius and only 20 kilometers or 12 miles from Russian ally Belarus, will accommodate up to 4,000 troops, storage and maintenance for tanks and other equipment, and shooting ranges of all sizes. About 1,000 more German military and civilian contractors will be posted at other sites in Lithuania. However, only about a fifth of the compound buildings in Rudnkai have been contracted for construction, raising fears it will not be ready in time. So they're afraid that by 2027 it might not be built, but they are pushing to get it built in time. Defense Minister Lornis Kasiunas told reporters his ministry will award contracts for the rest of the works by the end of this year when his government term ends. The German government has asked Parliament for 2.93 billion euros to order 105 Leopard 2 AA tanks and partly to equip the Lithuanian base, according to a confidential draft budget seen by Reuters in June. So 105 Leopard 2 A8 tanks that may go to this base as well. However, budget and fighting within Germany's fractious coalition is jeopardizing Berlin's pledge to upgrade its military. So we talked about that. Obviously they've been having a lot of political issues within their government, trying to get these funded, and that's why we talked about the other day that Germany might be cutting off funding to Ukraine. At least any new orders of military equipment might be halted here at some point soon. Lithuania has upped its defense spending to 3% of gross domestic product this year, and Prime Minister Ingrida Simonite's government hiked taxes to support defense needs such as the base over the next several years. If we are not secure, then there is no security for them, Simonite told reporters at the ceremony, referring to Germany. Okay, so they're definitely kind of looking at this sort of like Ukraine. You know how a lot like NATO's come out and said, well, Ukraine's security is NATO's security, is Eastern Europe's security. For example, Poland, the Baltics, things like that, that if Ukraine falls, then the war may end up on NATO's doorstep, okay? NATO doesn't want to deal with that, supposedly. So clearly they're building this for a number of reasons, again, for deterrence, to prevent any kind of an attack happening on maybe the Baltic nations, because there's been a lot of talk about that Russia may go after the Baltic nations. But something that I was thinking about was this a possible sign that Ukraine could potentially fall to Russia at some point, that maybe at some point NATO might back off and maybe not support Ukraine anymore? I mean, I don't see that happening. But, what if this thing really does drag on long enough, something happens, and maybe at some point NATO just can no longer continue to fund this war? Maybe they choose not to, or who knows what will happen. Maybe they'll go to a plan B and give up Ukraine and hope that Russia does not attack, but then maybe Russia will attack, and maybe that's why they're building these bases over here. So it's definitely a shield that's being projected as over the Baltic nations, that this thing's being constructed in Lithuania. But otherwise, I mean, this is definitely very scary at the same time, because this is Russian or German troops very close to Russia's doorstep again. And obviously, I know they're not happy right now with all these Leopard tanks rolling into the Kursk region. So, they're basically under attack all over again from the Germans, at least by their equipment. So I'm sure they're not going to be very happy about this base being constructed over here in Lithuania. And hopefully that doesn't create more tensions and issues between obviously Lithuania and Russia. But let me know what you think down below, though. I thought this was a huge story when this came out. So it looks like within the next couple years, they're going to have a major base over here that's going to house up to 4,000 troops and hundreds of vehicles. And obviously, that's going to beef up defenses over there in the Baltics. So let me know what you think down below. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.